Hello, here I am again. I can't believe it was only January I spoke to you and now we're nearly in June. So I want to tell you now about our amazing summer fundraiser. This fundraiser is entitled Live Below the Line and it's something I've borrowed from a Save the Children campaign. The good news is I'm not asking you to run half a marathon this year. The bad news is I'm asking you to live on only £1 per person per day. Why am I asking you to do that? This is so that in some small way you can identify with 1.2 billion people who live below the poverty line in our world, day in, day out. We're only asking you to do this for 5 days, but we want you in some small way to stand in the shoes of these people. How can we do that? Well, it's quite simple. It means that we're going to have to think about what we're going to eat and drink because we spend an awful lot more per person than £1. So what it means is we won't be having any of this. We won't be having any of these. And this is definitely not on the menu. Instead, we'll be drinking an awful lot of this. This will form our staple diet. And there'll be a lot of these in it too. Just by keeping it simple, you can make it very complicated if you want to. But for breakfast, it's going to be basically porridge or a banana. It's going to be a cup of tea, not a lot of milk, because you must price your milk in. For lunch, it's probably going to be a vegetable soup, which you can make in bulk at the start of the week and then just take a portion each day. It can be 2 slices of bread and something very cheap and cheerful in the middle. And then in the evening, it's going to be either rice or pasta with lentils and tomatoes and onions and spices, things like that. Again, make a big pot at the start of the week. Just have it each day. Sounds boring, but life lived below the poverty level is boring. It is monotonous. It's not varied. We have so much choice in our food. And for these people that live like this day in, day out, their staple diet is rice and a bit of gravy. Their staple diet doesn't include choice, doesn't include variety. And we want to, as a charity, in some way identify with that. What's the result of what we do? Well, currently, East Meets West is literally feeding into about 4 projects which directly involve food. And I want to raise the money from this campaign to feed directly into these projects. One of them is connected with our medical centre where we subsidise fresh fruit and vegetable for the many people who live locally who are so poor that they have very little protein in their diet, very little fruit and veg, and they need that extra input into their diet. We also want to try and supply local families with a chicken so that that chicken can lay eggs and they can have a source of protein. We also want to provide in a strategic way food parcels for many of the local families, many elderly in this area who are malnourished, who are deficient in vitamins and calcium and who need this extra input into their diet. We can also provide goats for families, and this is an amazing source of increasing their nutrition and increasing their ability to provide milk and food for themselves. The last thing we want to do is concerning our slum schools in Bangalore, 16 of them. Many of those children just have rice and a gravy at lunchtime. Many of them don't have breakfast, many of them don't have an evening meal. Their lives are too chaotic for that. So I would like to try and provide funds so strategic planning can go into place for a breakfast club. And we would very much like to do that in those schools. So there's the challenge. What do you think? Can you help me? We're going to be doing this from Monday, June the 30th, through to Friday, the 4th of July. Now, if you're away on holiday, or if this isn't a good week, I'll be doing plenty of publicity via this email and in other places. So choose a week before or a week after. If you can't physically do this with us, then just support us. You can either sponsor me, the details are on a PDF on the email, or you can do it yourself and get sponsorship, or you can donate the money you normally spend on 5 days food and drink to our charity. Do it any way you want, but please just stand with us and help us make a difference to these families. I often think when I see a plate of food and I can't finish it, if only I could directly get that into the hands of someone who really needs it. Well, this is our opportunity. We can do this. So watch out for the advertising, watch out for the literature, and let's stand together June the 30th through to July the 4th and make a difference. Thank you.